Frankie, just start us off with a general statement about the game.
You know, every time we play Lake State, Lake State and Ferris, are quote unquote what I consider our basketball rivals. It's always a dogfight every time we play them. In practice yesterday and even today, I mentioned to our team, and I've been pounding it in their head, that every time we play Lake State, it's like an old school heavyweight boxing match. They're going to throw a punch, we're going to throw a punch, and that's exactly the way it was. We got up early, they made that run the second half, late in the second half of the first half, I should say, went up by 1, and we ended up just kind of trading punches, and that's exactly how the game went, and it goes that way every time that we play them practically. I hope it does when we go up there again in a couple of weeks, but we didn't expect it. Ironically, 2 days ago, I went in the locker room and I put up a bunch of 8x10s that said, we must play harder than Lake State for 40-plus minutes. And ironically, during that time, when they went into overtime, I set them down on the bench and just said, hey, I did say 40-plus. I didn't say just 40, so we got to do it this next 5, and if it ends up being more, then we'll do that. But it was nothing short of what I expected it, to tell you the truth.
Talk about the last shot. Is that
just like I drew it up.
Yeah.
Now, here's what happened. What we wanted to do was we wanted to get the ball into Greg Foster. We had 11 seconds. And basketball, in all honesty, 11 seconds, especially if you have a good guard, it's plenty of time to get a shot and actually even get an offensive rebound if you get it down the court. We wanted to get the ball into Greg, and we wanted Chris Webb to trail behind him, and then we wanted to sprint Sean Romzik to the other wing, and we wanted Greg to drive, and then we wanted Rob to go to the baskets to rebound, and we wanted Schaaf to trail because Schaaf could also shoot it. It didn't necessarily, the plan was not necessarily to have to get a 3. It was, I was actually expecting Greg to drive and get fouled and or get a basket, or when I thought was going to happen, he would get in there and penetrate and pitch. What Lake State did, and Steve's a very good coach, when they transitioned back, they came back into a 2-3 zone. So we pitched it back to Chris, and Chris had the ball on the left wing in front of the bench, and he got bumped a couple of times, but he just drove it to the corner and made it. So it's kind of what we wanted to do, but we didn't expect them to be in a zone when they came back.
Good to see your team adjust on the run with them changing to the zone.
Oh, yeah. I was telling the guys I wasn't too happy with how we executed offensively versus the zone early on, but I thought we got a little bit better on it. And they did. The biggest thing I thought in the difference for us scoring the second half was they were jumping above our ball screens, and we're a ball screen team. So we have a different offense called Hawk 2, which is a different version of Hawk, to where there's nobody in the short corner. So we got a lot of drives the second half that were those little running floaters that were along the baseline because there was no help there. So I thought that was a great adjustment that our coaching staff as well as our players made. I think that really got us a lot of baskets.
Did you have a good view of the shot?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I was yelling at the officials because I wanted a hand check before it. But I did look up and saw it go in, so I kind of shut up about the hand check once it went in. I was hoping they weren't going to put any more time on it because it did go through, I think, with 2 seconds. I was hoping they weren't going to make it like 4 seconds because, once again, in basketball, it's enough time that you saw the shot they got. And my whole thing was we just went back to a 2-2-1 zone. And my point was don't foul anybody. If they make a shot from 35 feet and beat us, then they just beat us, And actually, I forget his name, number 1 for them. Alex Williams, got a pretty good look, but we were right there. He just luckily missed it. And they had set up a man-to-man play, so I was kind of glad I was very glad, I should say, that we went with a 2-2-1 half court as compared to picking them up full court. If you pick them up full court man-to-man, there's always a possibility they can draw a fake charge on you. The officials could call a block or anything. So I just said get back in the 2-2-1.
They really got the ball in on
yeah,
the inbound.
yeah, because they were looking long, and we wanted to make sure our goal was to try to make him catch it on this side of half court, and we actually almost did that. We didn't let him throw it long. That's what we didn't want to happen.
Chris made some big shots in that game. A lot of threes, I thought, on 5 to 7 3-point range.
Yeah, well, Chris Webb, man, he was Player of the Week in the GLIAC 2 weeks ago, so he's definitely stepped it up. Chris Webb was Freshman of the Year 2 years ago in the league. Then last year he had a decent sophomore year, and we have an end of the year meeting with our players individually, and we told Chris, you didn't have the year we expected you to have. You need to step it up this summer. And the reason I was telling the radio people this. Chris Webb averaged shooting 4,000 shots this summer. A week. So Doesn't surprise me that it went in. I'm just glad that it did go in. But that's the reward for the hard work that he put in. You know, you can't get better laying on the couch in the summer. So he averaged. It was an average. Sometimes he get up 700 a day. Sometimes he get 800 a day. Sometimes he get 1,000 a day. Sometimes 500 a day. But he averaged 4,000 shots this summer for like 12 weeks straight. So it's reward for his hard work.
Good game to build on here, Gliac opener.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I told the guys before we put it up yesterday as well, you know, where are we going? Are we going to falter at home, the first home game? We got to go to Wayne State. We got to go to the number 7 team in the nation, Findlay, next Saturday. We've got a tough road ahead of us. Definitely games we can win, because I believe we can beat anybody in our league. I really, really feel that way. So it's definitely a great. Right now, we're 1-0 in the league. Lake State's 0-1. You know, and that's what we put on the board. How are we going to leave here tonight? And to get this win is very, very good for us. Now we just got to continue to get more. But this was a big game. I mean, I really, really mean that. It was, as far as our mental frame goes. All right. All right. Thanks a lot.